Aquas, what's good? Hope y'all are doing well. Thanks so much for being here with me. Welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. Yeah. Hoping that I get one a month of these done. That's my upcoming goal. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, let's see what's going on with my aquas. Okay, we got cards. Too many cards. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's just see if I have. Okay. The apocalypse, the poet, the father, the vessel, the self. Well, the apocalypse is a really big ending. You know, it feels like the whole world just crumbled at your feet. I mean, that's the apocalypse, you know, you just don't even know what's real anymore. And feeling like you were up on a pedestal and dropped down on your face. So you've been going through a lot of, I just want to say like a lot of emotional experiences of late. You have the vessel, which is the idea of build it or break it. The poet is, you know, kind of mystic in their nature and has the ability to take things that are tumultuous, I guess is what I would say, and turn them into something beautiful. You know, poetry takes pain and turns it into beauty. And the self is just this idea of recognition, you know, like being aware, self-awareness. And I almost want to say that like this experience that you've had of just kind of feeling like you went from one extreme to the other, like somebody thought really, really highly of me and now they think really poorly of me, and now my world is just like flipped, turned upside down, and I don't even know what to do with myself. You know, like how do I make this right? How do I take the broken and create something beautiful? And I don't even know, Aquas, that's, I mean, it's not coming through as fixing a relationship, if that's what's happened. You know, whether it's with a family member or, you know, a relationship, a friend, however that resonates for you, it feels like you lost your footing, and, you know, obviously, again, take this how it resonates, whichever side of the story you're on, but you feeling really, really insignificant is what I want to say. Just feeling like you don't really matter. Feeling like, I feel like you guys are just like in some angst, you know, like I hate the world right now is how I feel, you know, like you just feel like you're just kind of like angsty about whatever it is that you're angsty about. But moving in a direction that I ultimately say brings you to the question of, okay, but now what? You know, build it or break it is like, okay, but it can't stay this way. Something has to give. Either I need to clear the rubble or I need to clean this mess up. But I got to figure out which direction I'm going. And I want to say that knowing or that decision comes from, you know, just kind of like a really like an intimate exploration of how you feel and why you feel that way. Gaining understanding, figuring it out. How did it break? What broke it? You know, what part did I play? Can, you know, all the questions that we ask ourselves. Okay, let's see what else we can get here from my Aquas. We have the Devil and the Queen of Swords that have come out so far. Aquas, I mean, I feel like, you know, you're coming in with this energy of endings and feeling like you've been, you know, like held on a pedestal and dropped down. But, you know, like the Devil, especially in this deck, really just kind of speaks to the idea of manipulation and control. And, you know, I almost get the idea of like, you thought you were in control of the situation, and then there was a, you know, the people revolted, you know, and came in with a, sorry, that's not, this is not working for me, you know, like this is broken, it's ending, and you know, like you've lost control. You've lost control of the situation. What else can I get from my Aquas? The Moon and the Page of Wands. You know, Aquas, what I want to say is that you're trying to follow your intuition to kind of regain. I mean, the Page of Wands is you know, like a youthful exploration, like a ready to set off. But I almost feel like that's the part of you that you're trying to discover. Like that's what you're trying to get to. You're trying to get from a place of being this controlling, manipulative person to moving into a place where you are somebody who is not trying to control the situation, but is rather attempting to find pleasure in the idea of discovery. Because if you're in control, then you're not in a, I mean, I won't say you're not in a place of discovery at all, because if you're in control, then you did your research and you knew how to manipulate, you know how to, you know, keep people in their place, until you couldn't anymore, until it stopped being a thing. You know, you fell off that pedestal, and you know the reality of the circumstance was that, you know, like this is a build it or break it moment, and you feeling, you know, like the weight of that brokenness, and having to figure out what do I do with it? Do I clean it, or do I fix it? And this feels to me, Aqua, is like what you're wanting to do is fix your approach. What I'm not certain of is whether or not you're fixing your approach toward another person, or you're just fixing your approach to yourself. Because, I mean, with the Self card present here, there is this idea of like awakening to yourself, self-illumination, you know, like discovering yourself. And it may be in discovering yourself, you like unlock something that sends you in a new direction, you know, that allows you to see, you know, the beauty in the struggle, see the evolution of yourself. I mean, even when we play the villain in our own lives or in the lives of others, there is an opportunity there for us to really gain an understanding, you know, that idea of integrating your shadow with your light. You know, how do I do that? So what I would say to this is that when you fell off the pedestal, you fell off the pedestal because your behavior was atrocious. Just reading the cards. You know, so much so that it brought this like apocalyptic ending, and forced you to really kind of be with yourself. I feel like I'm not like pulling a lot of cards for this, but the Ace of Air and the Chariot. I mean, the Ace of Air is like a new knowledge, and the Chariot is movement. And again, it's this idea of like, okay, like how do I move differently? How do I change direction? How do I evolve past the devil? You know, I mean, it's a question of evolution. It's a question of can I and how do I? And what does that mean for this? You know, I have no idea. I don't know. Sorry, I just feel like it's a question that's being asked, and I don't know. I don't know how that change comes about. I don't know what it is that serves as the wake-up call for you. You know, because the apocalypse is the idea of an ending, but it's not just like one ending. You know, the apocalypse isn't like, oh, you know, like there was this breakup. It's like, oh, well, there was the breakup, and then there was this, and then there was that, and then you know, and you know, it's like, and then I don't know, like maybe some of y'all are having to move your things, or you know what I mean? Like it feels like whatever it was that ended was like a really big end in a really big way. And so we had the Ace of, or the Eight of Pentacles pop out. And again, you know, it's that idea of manipulation and control and who's in charge here and how can I, you know, how can I make people do what I want them to do, which is the opposite of being excited to move forward in a direction with someone and see where it goes. And I say someone, I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's like an outside person involved with this, but in all sincerity, it really is a reading is like a singular, like, I don't know how this person is feeling about it or reacting to any of it. I just feel like you were on some shit, or another person was on some shit, and there was control and there was manipulation, and they fell from the pedestal. You fell from the pedestal. Somebody fell from a pedestal and is trying to find their way to move in a direction that's going to be positive, because the build it or break it, the poet, and the self all really do lend to the idea of building. I'm just not sure what you're building with, or who you're building with, or if you're even building with anybody, and just figuring it out for yourself. You know, like maybe there's this idea of like, I just need to figure this shit out. Like I need to pick a direction and go, and that's what you do. Manipulation. I mean, you guys, seriously, what is this? This is destructive behavior. This is extremely destructive behavior. This is intentional manipulating, staging, lying. I mean, this is some gnarly energy that has showed up in your read. So I feel like maybe the month of October for my Aquas is just really kind of having to like sit with yourself and like see the reality. You know, I mean, I feel like there's just been this like wake up call of like, hey, hate to break it to you, bud, but you know, that's who you choose to be. That's who you are. And then realizing that if that's who you are and that's who you choose to be, that's what your life looks like, and really having to kind of see it for what it is and move forward, you know, in a way that takes the nasty and the bad and somehow turns it into something meaningful. You know, if in no other way than allowing you the opportunity to better yourself, because if you know that that's something that you struggle with, if you know that this is a part of who you are, and then you can actually maybe start to, you know, like face it and deal with it instead of turning a blind eye and pointing a finger at everybody else. Okay, Aquas, well, let's see what else we can get here. Well, the animal. You know, and the animal is the animal is protective, and the animal is focused, and the animal knows what it wants. you know, and I do kind of get the feeling that you're realizing that if you actually want to get what you want, that you really have to just change your focus and change your approach and move in a completely different direction with a completely different, you know, like everything just needs to be, you know, changed and moving in a different direction. And I don't think that that's something that's necessarily easy for you. You know, I'm sorry, Aquas. I feel like that I just called you like terrible people and then told you you struggled with not being a terrible person, and it's not. That's not. That sounds like a very broad general statement that I wouldn't say that in a blanket manner. I would say that and there's an area of your life that you have real issues with control and real issues with manipulation and deceit, and that it's been called out and it's been brought to an end, you know, like of massive proportion. And now, you know, you have the opportunity and the chance to really change your direction, you know, and move in a way that's going to allow you a different experience, because once you've dealt with some of your really big issues, you know, like once you've faced them head on, I think then that's when you'll be able to really start to trust yourself better and move in a direction that you want to move. All right, Aquas, that's what I have for y'all. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you again soon.